Y'all recovering, y'all dancing. Let me know what's up. Again, we're going to officially start in about 3 minutes. Excuse me. But just want to jump on, get everything set up, ready to go. So we go back here to so we're live on YouTube, live on Instagram. Hope everybody's doing well again. Tuesday, March 19th. Next week, just as a reference note, we'll have B Girl Mel from Floristas and the Confident Dancers, San Diego, joining us. So make sure to tune in, same time, same place, Step by Step Dance. YouTube, Instagram. So that's going to be really cool. I'm excited about that. And next week's going to be busy for me because we have Footprints Dance Retreat. We just got our shirts in. They're looking crispy. But again, we're gonna start here in about 2 minutes. Just want to make sure everything was rolling, everything's going smoothly. We got footage from Red Bull Dance Your Style Salt Lake. Shout out to 2 Foot, shout out to Buddy Love, shout out to all the dancers. We'll get into that. Once we start the stream, not seeing people on here commenting on Instagram, but I'm sure we will. We're gonna be going in between, obviously, Instagram, YouTube, computer. It's weird. Usually you can tell and see who's joining, but for some reason on Instagram you can't see. There's 4 people, but I can't see who's on there. So, anyways, again, it's Seabass Step by Step Dance. Hope y'all are having a great day, great week, great month. Man, we're almost to the middle, or at the middle, almost to the end of March. So we are pushing through. Quarter 1 is almost done. Like I said, once we get this podcast started in about 1 minute, we will officially have episode 5 stepping and rolling. And big shout out to Switch Villa for always providing us the dope step by step theme music. And then we're going to have this podcast on all distribution. So Apple, Spotify, anywhere you can get your podcasts. So 3, 2, 1, theme music. What up, everybody? It's Seabass with Step by Step Dance. Keep stepping. Episode 5. We are here. We are live on Instagram. We are live on YouTube. We are live everywhere around the universe. Thank you, SpaceLink. SpaceX. All right. So we are grateful again to be episode 5, rolling this through. We appreciate everybody, being a part of this. And it's been a journey so far. In doing this podcast, we're still learning. Last week, we had another solo podcast. The week before, we had B-Boy Flips, aka Ivan Velez. That was an incredible conversation. And next week, again, we're gonna have B-Girl Melissa Dow from San Diego, hometown. What's up? And Floristas, Confident Dancers. She's going to be joining us. We're going to be talking about her journey, talking about her rise. It's going to be an incredible conversation because she is, she's got so much energy. She's got good vibes. If you ever seen her at a jam, her, going to Cypher because she's always starting a party. So we're going to be talking with her. And started late in dance and breaking, and she's just killing it. So that's going to be an incredible conversation. Make sure next week, this time, Instagram and also on YouTube. As we get started today, if you're watching in the background, we got Red Bull Dance Your Style Salt Lake qualifier that we just came back from. We're going to be discussing a little bit about that. and some of the other events that we attended, as well as if you're on the YouTube, if you're on the stream, we got our shirts in for Footprints Dance Retreat, where culture meets nature. We got the baseball tee because I'm a huge baseball fan and it looks just clean. So, again, on Footprints Dance Retreat next week, the 28th through the 30th, we've got the first night, Thursday. We've got roller skating. It's going to be chill. Come out, roller skate, cipher. We'll have some floor just throw down. And then the next morning, we are sold out of our Zion package, which we are taking dancers with our faculty and our judges to Zion National Park to film some videos, do a little mentoring session, shoot some photos, and give these dancers as well as ourselves an opportunity to interact under nature. And so that's the whole big thing here in southern Utah. St. George, Utah is we're around a lot of national parks, red rocks, and a lot of beautiful nature. So we're able to kind of have venues that are open. So dancing is under the stars and the weather's going to be great. A little cold still, but it's all good. So again, we're taking dancers to Zion on that morning, and then after that, come back and from 3 p.m. to 10:30, we rented a farm, Staley Farm, and we're gonna have a workshop from Addison Johnson, Addie J, teaches freestyle concepts. After that, we're gonna have check-in for the battle, barbecue, bonfire, and there's a little petting zoo. Like we rented a farm. It's really cool. And then we have one-on-one battles. So we have a 17 and under freestyle. We have a funk styles judged by Pandora Marie. And then we also have a one-on-one house dance judged by Jardy Santiago, and then a one-on-one hip hop, which is judged by Addie J. Each one of those for the funk styles and the freestyle or in the house dance is going to be $200 cash prize, and then the kids is going to be $100. Hip hop, if you win hip hop, we're gonna send you to Tribal Grounds Houston, which is at the end of April. So, and then yeah, if we have a little bit of time, we're gonna have a little after party at the farm, and we're done. The next morning, Saturday, we rented a basketball court, outdoor basketball court, and we're gonna be doing workshops. So, we're doing workshops with, we're doing workshops with B-Boy Ronnie teaching a breaking workshop. We got Pandora Marie teaching a popping workshop, and then Jardy Santiago teaching a house dance workshop. After the workshops, or if you don't come, uh, after that, from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the Town Square Park here in St. George, Utah, at the Art Festival, we have a 2-on-2 freestyle. And if you've come to any of the events last year or a couple years ago, it's fun. It's a good vibe, and the location is great. We're having again 2-on-2 freestyle for $500. We're giving $250 to the runner-ups, and then we're giving gift cards to the third and fourth. So we always try to give a little bit to as many as the dancers as we can. So hopefully in the next coming years we'll be able to expand that. So any of the dancers that are involved will be able to go home with something, because it's support. You support me, and everybody knows this. I support you. So yeah, Saturday, March 30th, from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. 2-on-2 freestyle for $500. We got some great showcases. And the vibes were great last year because the public came and they were like seeing these incredible dancers. Shout out to Jay Noy and Tomasi for winning that. Shout out to Joe Styles and Ellie Styles for getting into the finals. So yeah, 1 second. I'm gonna switch here back here. This playlist should be going. I don't know what's going on back here. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. There was just like that was like a 15-minute ad going on in the back there, and trying to get this Red Bull Dance Your Style. So, anyways, Footprints Dance Retreat. Make sure you can find it on Step by Step Dance, stgoodtimes.com. More information. We do have packages still available. If you want to get the workshops and the battle fees, we have a discount with that. So, all right. So yeah, that's it. Footprints Dance Retreat, March 28th through the 30th, St. George, Utah. Come through and yeah, we'll make it we'll make it fun for you. All right, going into some of the events that we attended this last week that my chiropractor definitely noticed today. Yeah, we headed up to Salt Lake. It's been a minute since we've been to some events in Salt Lake. We're about 4 hours south in southern Utah. So we're usually hitting Vegas because Vegas is only an hour and a half away, hitting a flight and heading out to different places or driving out to Albuquerque. But yeah, so we headed up to Salt Lake. There was actually three events going on. First event was Illust UVU, Utah Valley University in Orem, their hip hop club. Shout out to Tom, was throwing a 2-on-2 all styles battle. And yo, it was dope. It's cool to see a new generation of dancers because a lot of us that have been a part of that Utah dance scene since shoot like 2010, a lot of the dancers that have been involved with the dance scene earlier than that, I'm just saying like, well, yeah, probably 2008 for me. That's when I kind of got in to the Utah dance scene. So it's crazy to see a bunch of different dancers come up. Jesse Sykes, Micah Clark, Devon, Tamasi, Tonga. Again, there's so many other like B-Boy Ali, B-Boy Tex doing his own thing with 1520, um, Arts and the Herc. So now there's this new generation of dancers that has come up because a lot of those dancers kind of moved to Vegas or LA and started getting into shows, started getting into tours, started getting into teaching, battling, and touring. So it's been a different like generation of dancers. The breaking tip is always um growing, like it's always been there. Even when I started doing events in Idaho, there was, this is 2005 when I started doing events. And shout out to Monkey and some of those that used to come up from Salt Lake up to Idaho to support my jams. But yeah, so it's interesting to see like the ebbs and flows of different scenes. And you may see this with your community too, just like, all right, we are in this kind of time where people have moved out or there's not as much happening. And so just the ebbs and flows of every community, everybody goes through it, whether it's studio, whether it's battles and events. It's just, again, the ebb and flow of opportunities that come, or people come in and they start their own events. And some people, depending on their own personal situation, they may stop being a part of the community or throwing events. But there's always somebody doing something, always somebody trying to help the scene keep a heartbeat, keep a pulse. And Utah has been a really good example of being able to go out and achieve so much, but the dancers always come back and give. Again, it's cool to see that. And so at Illust UVU, the Phoenix, the battle, it was cool to see the next generation of dancers. There was lockers, there was poppers, there's crumpers, there's breakers, from all different age range, like 6 years old all the way up to 20s, and to still see some homies still getting down that are kind of in our age, like 30 plus, 40 plus for me. Still kind of doing the thing, like Scratchmo, DJ Scratchmo, and Chew, with Crate Dwellers, have been putting down for so many years on the DJ tip, and they've influenced so many people like myself that are now been getting, excuse me, into DJing. And even my own nephew, who I was helping mentor a little bit this weekend, trying to get him connected with Scratchmo to be able to learn, from somebody who's an incredible DJ, incredible turntablist. So yeah, again, it's just interesting to see like how people kind of rise up and get mentored and then leave and go do different shows and opportunities, and then but they're coming back. For instance, like Jesse Sykes taught a workshop with the Utah Poppers on Sunday. And again, big shout out to Jesse, man. I've seen him come up since he was a kid, and he's always supported a lot of that. And so it's cool to always see dancers that are starting to get such a bigger name because of the talents and what they've worked on in these other communities, and then go back and share. So yeah, so Illis was dope. Gravity was there. Like he battled his kids in one of the rounds. It was like two fathers, Gravity and Scott versus Gravity's kids. And Gravity's kids ended up beating him in the like top four or top eight or something like that. Go check it on our channel. It's really cool. So yeah, it's cool to connect with different people in that community. So again, big shout out to Tom over there, Illis UVU, throwing that battle. And yeah, big respect to all the dancers that are coming up. Had a really great experience with somebody who was talking about the influence that Step by Step has had on their life, and the difficulties that they've had to go through with certain personal experiences. But being able to talk to that homie and know that Step by Step was a part of inspiring them to dance, inspiring them to continue moving forward, even if it's not dance, even if it's just being inspired and needing some good content to watch. So a big shout out to that homie. Really appreciate your support. Really appreciate everybody's support over these 13 years. We always try to provide content that will uplift and inspire people all around the world, and we love connecting with anybody, no matter the experience, no matter where you're at. If you're a dancer or not, if you're a beginner, if you're expert, like if you're just a veteran in this game, we just love being able to hear stories. And so I really appreciated speaking to that homie out there. So big shout out. Yeah. So the next event, obviously, you can see it behind here if you're watching the YouTube or Instagram. We hit our first Red Bull Dance Your Style. This is something that was really interesting for me because I've watched it, seen all the content, but I had never been to an event, never been able to film one of the events. So it was definitely an experience to be a part of it. A big shout out to Skim, who put this all together. She's been an incredible resource to this community, having a dance background, coming from LA, and running now the Red Bull kind of Mountain West, being part of that and helping to make the audition happen, and then obviously the qualifier at the depot there in downtown Salt Lake, right at the same time as Utah Jazz were playing a basketball game across the street. So there was a lot going on downtown. It was hard to get through, but yeah, again, it's really interesting to me. To be honest, going from so many different uh, battles that we've filmed, judging is every single battle, to a crowd judged battle was definitely interesting. And we'll segue this obviously into our topic on judging, but home crowd definitely gets favored. I will say that much. And it is different because as dancers, and even as a dancer who films these, um, you notice who has experience, you notice who has musicality and that dance. And in your mind, okay, well, if there's a judge here, they're probably going to do this. But when it comes to Red Bull Dance Your Style, the music is different because it's not like really battle heavy music. It's more fun so that it connects with the crowd, that it connects with the dancer, and it connects with people that may have never been to a battle. So you have to kind of take everything that you learn from being at a battle and like let it go. As I've like tried to process after these couple days, I can just kind of tell that it's such a great experience for the dancers. So no matter what happens, one, they get the exposure, they get the opportunity that Red Bull covers so much for them to come, because meeting all these dancers coming from other places, LA, San Diego, New Orleans, Chicago, Atlanta, um, it's an opportunity, right? Like, whereas like if you go to a battle, you're probably paying your own way. And so it's like it's cutthroat a little bit more. And Red Bull is too. There's still that battle aspect with it, because you want to be able to get to LA to a regional, and then you want to get to a USA, and then eventually to the world. So there is that battle aspect, but it's also just fun. It's also just there to be uh, an opportunity just to wow out, instead of having to focus so much on, okay, for the judges, I know I've got to do like, I got to add tutting in when we're talking about freestyle, when we're talking about all styles. So, again, I'll get into that a little bit more, but but the vibe too, like the vibe is so cool. Um, there's not a lot of pressure. Maybe for the dancers there is, they would probably say that, but there's not a lot of pressure in terms of like being at a jam, and the vendors, and the MC and the DJ, and getting everybody checked in, making sure the list, we're in a prelim, like it's already a top 16. So like the ciphers were, the DJ was playing, ciphers were going on, people were chilling, everybody's like, reconnecting, reuniting, seeing homies, um, that you haven't seen in years. So it was a cool vibe like that, and especially in a place like the Depot, that has always been like a really cool vibe. Um, it was perfect for the setting. It was perfect for the event. And I think I even mentioned to like a couple of the dancers after, I'm like, I don't know if I can go to another dance your style, because as a dancer, it was like a little bit frustrating when it came to some of the decisions of the crowd. But then again, too, when you have a home crowd, you're going to have a lot more support. And I think if it's like a clear battle where somebody gets smoked, you're going to see that. And that did happen. Again, you had Buddy Love, who Salt Lake, and then you had 2 Foot, who's from Atlanta. So it could have been two Utah dancers, and it wasn't. And I think that's maybe what worked out. Now that I'm like processing everything, um, I'm like understanding that, okay, this is cool. There were two dancers, one from a hometown and one from Atlanta, and that kind of makes it, like a sporting game, right? Like a sporting event, with like baseball or basketball or football. Like, if you got home field advantage, like you've got, people, but you don't always have the sure win. Like you still got to dance. You still got to like get down and prove to the crowd that like your movement, you're connecting with the music, you're vibing out, but you're also like hitting some technique and all that. So, um, there may have been like a couple decisions in there that definitely, like behind the camera, I'm kind of like, hmm, I can't really say anything, because I don't want it to be on camera. I got to edit that out. But yeah, so it's definitely dance your style. I think I will go back. I'll be honest. Um, as I've processed it, it would be fun to be at another Red Bull Dance Your Style, just to break away from the monotony of always having a judge, or judges, and having the crowd just to vibe off of. Because there really is, when we look at people that aren't dancers, or that when they see the music, when they see people having fun, and there is some technique obviously there, if there's somebody doing too much technique and trying to really connect way too much to the music and do too much, then it's not going to vibe out, it's not going to connect. And part of being in the culture and the community and learning these styles is having that aspect of performing, whether it's a stage, whether it's a jam, whether it's a show, whether it's a movie, whether it's a commercial, whether it's just street dancing, street performing, where a lot of this has come from. So, um, and I think that goes into looking at different events and understanding, okay, if I go to this event, I need to know my judges. I need to know what they're looking for. I need to know what the vibe is all about. Maybe that's not something I want to battle in. Maybe I just want to cipher. That's really up to you. There's definitely been times where I've been in this mindset, and I've talked about this with other dancers, including Joe Styles and other people. Like before my stroke, I was kind of in this I don't want to battle phase. I just want to cipher. I just want to go to a jam. I've been filming so much, traveling the world, filming battles. Like, man, I just want to put my camera down. I just want to cipher. I just want to go out and just not have to worry about like a judge or having to impress certain people. I just want to vibe out, and we get in that mindset. We get in that frame where we're like, okay, so focused on, um, okay, if it's an all styles battle, if it's a freestyle battle, I know I've got to do multiple styles, and I got to, put myself in this position so the judges see me connect, see me perform, see me battle. There's like a checklist of things that you have to do. And I think, at least with Red Bull, that I noticed, most of the dancers, they were just kind of vibing out. And maybe a couple times you could see them like thinking through, like, oh, I got to do a trick, or I got to like make sure the crowd reacts to this movement. And we all do that. I mean, I think even again, like street performing, being on a stage, uh, being at an event that's more with the public and not so much just only the community. Sometimes we get out of ourselves and we just need to refocus and be like, hey, connect to the music, get back to that foundation, and just enjoy and build from there. Get the foundation, vibe with the music, and then from there just build. If you got your techniques, if you got your flips, if you got your tuts, if you have a spin move that's gonna, the song, and you could hit it right, hit that beat right at the right moment. But then again, too, there might be, song where you just need to flow and not have to, your power move doesn't have to be something big. It could just be the way that you express in the lyrics, express in the music. And if you do a spin and you hit right at the right moment, and it could be magical, so magical. So excuse me. Yeah. So yeah, again, I think I will definitely go back to another Red Bull dancer style. Thanks, Skim, you're dope. It was dope. All the dancers were dope. The crowd was dope. DJ was dope. Dope, dope, dope. So I'm definitely gonna go back, um, because I want to experience it more, and I want to experience it in different places so that I can see what the vibe of the crowd is with the DJ, with the dancers. And I think it goes the same, like just talking about judging, right? Like when event organizers are bringing judges in, it's really particular, like to what you are trying to accomplish with your jam. Because if it's specific to a style like breaking, then you need to have three different styles of breaking, like a power, a floor work, a top rock, maybe one that's in between. Um, Again, it's different for like popping. Is it going to be somebody who's like a pure popper? Is there going to be somebody who does waves? There's somebody who tuts. There's somebody again that mixes animation, mixes all of those in together. Is it just a popping battle? Is it going to be a waving battle? Um, Same with like hip hop. It's kind of just seems to be, now that you got like tribal grounds, you got versa style, you've got 36 chambers there in New York. They're looking specifically for that hip hop freestyle. So like the foundation, but also like how can you expand the uniqueness? Obviously with locking, kind of the same thing, right? Like judges that are uh, locking, have that foundation, have that funk, uh, and probably again, same with whacking. Like the funk styles seem to kind of have it down. It's just when you get to some of the other styles like breaking, where you have other foundations within it, that you kind of have to be particular. And then, when you're throwing like a freestyle jam, an all styles jam, open styles jam, you got to be particular. For us, like with this upcoming freestyle jam, I've got Addison Johnson, Addie J. I've got Pandora Marie, and then Jardy Santiago. So Addison has a lot of energy. He can do a lot of styles: locking, breaking, house dance, pure hip hop freestyle. Um, he's got that rounded performer. Pandora, she hits so many different styles in the popping umbrella, with her animation, with her tutting, and it can be powerful too. It can also be smooth. And then Jardy Santiago, just with the house dance, like having that vibe, having that connection with the music. And so like I wanted to look at a judging panel that would hit um, energy, would hit energy as well as kind of like um, can slow it down to make it smooth. And then Jardy with like house dance, which is smooth, which is soulful. And like each one of them can also make it big. Like I know Jardy can get down. So if he needed to like hit a power move within house dance, or if he needed to understand that breaker, doing a top rock into and hitting a beat, he can, because he's got that foundation with his footwork. But he also understands the connection with the music. So as dancers, when we're going to events, um, we need to understand like the connection that we need to make depending on what the event is, what we're entering, and who's judging. Also, who's DJing. That's another topic we'll probably have to get into. I'm gonna bring some DJs in so that we can talk about just being able to connect with the music, connect with the event that they're specifically spinning. um but yeah, when it comes to judging, and too, like when you get into the jam and there's the explanation of, hey, this is what I'm looking for, this is what we hope to see. And then sometimes it's like, okay, well, they end up like going with another direction than what they said in terms of a dancer. um we have to kind of like open our eyes a little bit more, and talk to them too, like afterwards. I think sometimes like we just get so frustrated, and I've seen homies and other people like they don't win. They may have, yeah, they probably won, or other times no, they got beat, and then they just left. And it's like, well, why not just stay afterwards and talk to that judge and just say like, what did you see? Because I've been in there before. I've been called out years ago when I was judging. Very well known dancer came to the Phoenix area, and I was on a judging panel for an all styles. And the first two rounds I went with him because he was killing it. But the last round, it was a 2-on-2, and the last round we all ended up tying. Not all of us, but like I voted for this dancer and his partner, and then the other two, I think there was a tie, and then the other one was to the other, so it ended up being a tie. So it went into a tiebreaker, and in the tiebreaker, the other person from the other crew went up, matched up against this other dancer, and the guy just brought it. Like he had it. So afterwards, they came. The other crew kind of came, well, what's up? What's up? Like, we're calling you out after this. So after that, we got called out. I didn't end up battling that dancer, but I battled his partner, and we went rounds. We went rounds. That was part of it. And we just explained. I know he went and talked to somebody, and afterwards, I said, hey, yo, this is what I saw in those first two rounds. But when you got to a tiebreaker, that other dancer, he just connected with the music more and his movements. Like he was able to do all styles. It was an all style battle. So, again, when it comes to judging as a dancer, again, just understand what event you're going to, who's going to be there, and if it's something that if you feel like you should enter, then enter. If not, then just vibe out in the cipher, support. And as an event organizer, really be conscious. I know like there's budgets involved, there's schedules involved, there's all different types of outliers that happen, things that oh, this judge couldn't show up, so we had to bring somebody else in. There's different things that happen, right? But just be conscious of who you want to bring, number one. Number two, what dancers you're trying to attract. And that was part of it too with my decision in terms of bringing judges. I wanted I love house dance. It's one of my favorite things to just reconnect with myself and just go into a cipher and just house. House is a feeling, and I want it to be more present in in the US. I see it a lot in Europe. I see it a lot in Asia. I see it a lot in Canada. And there are house dancers. Don't get me wrong. There's a ton of house dancers, OGs and new cats. L.A., Houston, New York, Chicago, Detroit, uh, so many different other spots. Seattle. Again, I can go on. I could talk about house dancers in so many different places. DMV, you know. But like here in Vegas, Utah, I wanted house dancers to have a battle. Number one, I wanted because I've always wanted to, DJ a house dance battle because I love it. And two, I just want to help grow. I want the kids that I'm hoping to grow a freestyle community here in Southern Utah. I want them to see house dance because it is part of this community. It's part of this culture. And I want them to be able to experience it from somebody like Jardy, who's been teaching these classes for years and doing an incredible job. But that may help me to bring in Brooklyn Terry or Seku or other house dancers out there that are OGs. And that's what I'm trying to build too. Same with like popping. I know obviously popping is one of the most popular ones out there, but to bring Pandora in and to the influence that she's had not only for women but also for the popping community, the stuff that she's done with movies and TVs, commercials, and just in battles and stuff. She's one of the legends in this game. And then Addison, man, like Addison's been a homie since like 2011, 2010, and he's done so many incredible projects, and he's getting back into battle. He's like forced himself, like, I got to battle, at least this much, and that's going to help so many different dancers that want to learn the battle, that want to learn all styles, and then be able to take class from Ronnie, who, Rebel BC1, Super Crew, District Arts, like doing all these amazing things within the breaking community. And so I think like when it comes to not only your event and your judges, like really be particular about who you bring in, and that will bring in more of a community, more of a opportunity for people to learn and to grow and to speak and to have these conversations about, okay, well, what were you looking for and how do you see it? Because somebody judging a crumper who's a house dancer, there could be a connection in there. Somebody that's a popper that is, judging a breaker, there's a connection. There's a connection between all of these styles. So, uh, again, Red Bull Dancer style, like it really kind of opened my eyes. And even talking like now on this podcast, it's opened my eyes a little bit further. Like, okay, I understand what the event is trying to accomplish, even though my decision in the back of my head was like, oh, this dancer definitely won, but they didn't end up winning. And that could be the case too. It happens. There have been times that other dancers with judges, like they've won. And you're just like, what? How did that dancer win? Like, how did they, these dancers were killing it all night. Were they bracketed the right way? Like, are you putting top two semifinal dancers in a top 16 when they should have been separated? So there's a lot that, again, we could talk about judging for hours. And again, we'll talk about it in the future with other guests. And if you guys have a topic, like hit me up with it. We'll definitely talk about it. But yeah, so as far as like Red Bull Dancer style, again, big respect. I really did have a great time. It was a really awesome opportunity to connect with those dancers. Big shout out to all of them. We shot a really cool video, a freestyle video at the top of the Capitol in Salt Lake City with the mountains in the background. Some of them had never like been to Utah, and so like seeing the mountains, it was like a pop up book for them. It was like a dream that they get to like be in Utah and see these beautiful snow covered mountains and be able to film a video with step by step. The honor was mine, like to be able to see them get down and just have this opportunity. So no matter what, big shout outs to Red Bull for always supporting the culture, always supporting the community. They've done such a great job with breaking and now being with Dance Your Style to have the opportunity for these dancers to shine, styles that aren't breaking, popping, locking, whacking, crump, flexing, Chicago footwork, jitting, juking. I'm sure there's a ton of other ones I could mention, but again, it was a great opportunity to reunite with so many people, so many great conversations. And I really hope that you guys can make it out to our event next weekend, March 28th through the 30th. Southern Utah, St. George, Utah. We're only 4 hours south of Salt Lake, only 1.5 hours north of Vegas, 5.5 hours from Los Angeles, about 6 hours from San Diego. So yeah, come through, y'all. It's gonna be a great time. And make sure next week we are gonna be chatting with B Girl Mel, floristas, confident dancers, and she's been killing it. So my name's Seabass. Excuse me. It is getting dry. It's springtime. It's coming. Springtime is coming up here. My voice is dry. But again, my name is Seabass with Step by Step Dance. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching episode 5 of Keep Steppin', episode 6 next week. And hit me up anytime on Instagram, on YouTube, Facebook, wherever. But thanks so much. Have a wonderful Tuesday. Peace.